welcome to the Red Half of Sheffield preview pod to preview inevitably another loss. This time it'll be at the hands of Brighton and Hove Albion as they knock us out of the FA Cup in the fourth round. And I am joined by the Albion Roar podcast. How are you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, good. We're just about to. Apparently, we've got a major hurricane coming in a minute, which will be nice. Particularly good as we're playing tomorrow night, and we just hope there's a stadium there and it's not on its way to Kansas.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to get pretty rough over there, which is crazy. But anyway, let's get into it. Brighton come to Bramall Lane next Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. My favorite time slot. I can't wait until we're back in the championship to play every weekend at 3 p.m. I love it. None of this BS playing at Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff. And no, I just want to play Saturday at 3 p.m. every single weekend. So I'll ask you this. Sum up Brighton's season so far and in their last few run of fixtures. I will say this: we are pre-recording prior to Brighton's match Monday night. So all of this is kind of, when this probably comes out, everything won't matter.
I've kind of forgotten that I support a football team at the moment because it's been so long since we played.
Yeah.
The last game we had West Ham at the beginning of the year on the 3rd of January. Then we had the game at Stoke on the FA Cup week after that. After that, we've not played, and obviously we've got this international break coming up. Well, not international break. It's just the winter break. The winter break. And so we've not played on that. So the boys have all been off to Dubai and having a lovely time over there. We've had a chance to get some of our walking wounded back, which is always nice. But yeah, no, this season it's always been. Not so much after the Lord Mayor's show of last year, where we qualified for Europe for the first time in history, highest ever league finish. It was magnificent for us, and the fact that we have been on this European adventure is just it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, the fact that I ended up doing a show in a comedy club in Amsterdam prior to the game over there. It's just kind of this when we're in the 4th division and losing to Rochdale in the pouring rain on a Friday night, and it's we're enjoying the ride. We know where we've come from, and we won't ever forget that ride. And we're seeing what's going on with Reading at the moment. Reading, we used to be big rivals with us, and between you and the gatepost, I hate Reading because I used to live there for a little bit, and it wasn't good. But it was. But we're seeing what's going on with there right now, and they've reached out to us, and we were the originators of the Fans United movement, and we're delighted to, well, not delighted, because no club should have ever be in the position that we're in, and we're seeing it again. But we've got the experience of doing it. We've done other Fans United events and helped with how to protest and everything with various other clubs throughout the years. And we're the shining beacon of what you can achieve if you can do the right things. Obviously, it helps having a really, really good owner like we've got in Tony Bloom, who's a lifelong fan. He's been a member of his family on the board since the 50s, and this is that massively important for the journey that we're on at the moment. But like we say to anybody, nobody's got any divine right to success, and we're just enjoying where we're at the moment. So this season, there was always going to be a slight drop off. We've had a lot of injuries. I think everyone's had an awful lot of injuries this year. It all seems to be kind of like soft tissue injuries as well. So I don't know what the cause of all that is. So why there's so many this year? It does seem to be an unprecedented amount this year. But we've lost a lot of very important players this season, and the fact that we're still bubbling under. We're currently sitting in 8th in the league. We've got a game in hand on a couple of teams ahead of us. We're in the last 16 of the Europa League, which is massively important to us because we're really enjoying being in that competition. I know it gets a raw deal from a lot of the bigger clubs, for want of a better phrase, but it's a European competition, and for clubs like us that have never been in it, it's not a chore. It's an absolute delight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this season so far, yeah, we're doing all right. I think we're going to kick on from hopefully from the Wolves game, and move on through the gears, and then hopefully finish up as high as a league as we possibly can. Hopefully get to a cup final, and hopefully progress in Europe. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like everything in the world of Brighton Hove Albion is going. I mean, I guess as good as you guys could ask for, and that's a lot of. I guess the model over here in America, and I talk about this a lot with the American supporters over here.
Mm.
When a lot of the American supporters, they quote unquote follow and support the teams that win all the time, but your club is a prime example. I mean, Sheffield United is as well. I mean, we're bottom of League One and came all the way up to the Prem. But you guys have gone on a journey similar to ours, but you have been able to sustain it, and that's what people over here do not get. When I tell them, don't pick a Big Six or Big Eight club, whatever, however you want to group them now. Pick a team that's 2 or 3 tiers down.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not going to be the prettiest. It's not going to be best. You're going to have
Well,
to pay two.
it's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. But that, I mean, you can sum that up as an American sports supporter. I mean, most people jump on bandwagons of team. They love winning. They love winning. They hate when a team loses, and that
I'm not a
American
big
model.
fan of it myself, to be honest.
Very true. Very true. I mean, we aren't, but it's like when you look at a season and you look at a game, a schedule comes out, fixture list comes out, and you're like, oh, we're probably going to win about 31 of those games. Now, how is that fun? Now, on the other hand, they released the fixture schedule and it was 38 games, and they're like, well, we'll be lucky to get maybe 2 or 3 wins out of that 38 games, and so it's just I don't know, the separation from the American supporter of a team like Sheffield United, like I am,
Mm.
compared to somebody that supports. I was on a podcast, a Man City podcast, a couple weeks ago, and they kept calling us Sheffield, and I'm like, I just want that just grinds my gears, and they don't know because they picked up
I
a
can
club
imagine
that
how well
started
that would
winning.
go down in Sheffield as well. That wouldn't be the world's most popular conversation. It's like calling us Croydon. But that ain't ever. They burnt down their own town. They should have burnt more. It's,
But
it's mad, but I mean, the whole concept of like this big team, little team. I I've grown up. I'm from Brighton. I've grown up with this team, and my dad took me when I was a kid, and it was a rite of passage. And I take my daughter now, and it's one of those things where you just it doesn't matter what. I mean, obviously we're enjoying where we're at the moment. We're enjoying the success, but I've watched us play against like Sheffield United in pretty much all four divisions. I think I've seen you
Mhm.
against in the fourth division. I can't remember, but I probably have. We were there for a while. And it's not always it's not always about being at the top table. It's about you know like we were talking earlier about this FA Cup draw, and let's get into that a little bit now, because we've been in the Premier League now. This will be our 7th year since we've got into it, and in total we've had 11 years in the top division. In our 123-year history, we've only had 11 at the top table. We're homeless for 14 of those. So it's like we're actually homeless for longer than we've actually been in the top flight in all of our history. So when they obviously we got past Stoke in the last round, and when they made the draw, we're looking at it, and I'm not saying the Premier League's boring, but it's the fact is it's the same teams pretty much all the time. It's the same
Mhm.
cities. And like when you're in the lower divisions, we used. I mean, our favourite away game with like my lot that I go to games with. Our favourite away game's Carlisle.
Yeah,
Carlisle.
yeah.
But it's the furthest we could possibly go. But we get to go. We used to go up there like few days early. We'd have a few days in the Lake District. There's a place where we stayed in this amazing cottage next to this amazing pub, and it was just absolutely brilliant. And these are places that you wouldn't necessarily ordinarily go,
Mhm.
So places like Carlisle, like Rochdale, like Bury, like Dagenham, and
Yeah.
these are those are the teams that we probably wanted to draw because
Mhm.
we we do want to progress, but as a supporter, you want to go to places that you've not necessarily been before, or you haven't been for a long time. It's like we go to London all the time. We go to Manchester all the time. We've got at the moment. It's these are we like Sheffield. We're going twice in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, right.
Um,
So
but
much you like it twice.
but would we rather go to somewhere which we haven't been to for a few years, or would we rather go to like somewhere that's actually in the same division as you? I know you've only just come back up again, but we were there not so long ago,
Yeah.
and obviously we were there in the championship as well. So it was, we've played you a few times over the years, so we're just. It's not the most. It doesn't set the pulses racing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably gonna be the smallest away following we have
Oh
this year.
no, it won't be. We'll take. I think we've taken quite a big allocation, and we'll take people.
Well, that's good. That's good because that was the biggest thing. I was like, well, okay, we're gonna face them in the cup, and then 2 weeks later they got to come right back here and do the same damn thing. I was like, man, they might have a small away following, but
Well, no, I mean what you have to realize is, and this is a very very big thing, and for those who go to the away games, um, the more away games you go to, the more points you get,
mhm,
and the more points you get, the more chance you've got of getting tickets in the European games where there's smaller allocations. So people are basically going to these games because they want the points, because they want to go to whoever we get in the next round in Europe. So
makes sense.
um, it's we took nearly 3,500 to Stoke.
Yeah,
Um, and we'll probably similar numbers. I don't know what allocation you've been given, but be similar numbers that will come up to Sheffield because we want the points.
yeah. I mean, it all makes sense. At the end of the day, it all makes sense. But I'm of the same ilk as you. We've played Brighton, as you have alluded to. We've played each other enough over the last 3, 4 years, and I don't want to play anybody in this early of the competition. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go and get knocked out Saturday, 100%. But I didn't
Well,
want.
you might not.
I wanted to go. I wanted to extend our run and go to some, grounds that Sheffield United hasn't been to. And I mean, even if it's a championship, even if we
Yeah,
got like drawn against Norwich, I would have took. But it's just like, oh, here we go. It's
good
at
pubs in
home.
Norwich.
It's at home, against Brighton. That's cool, but it's like we're gonna see the same damn thing in a couple weeks. Um, as for the Brighton side, do you think De Zerbi will rotate the squad? Or are you gonna hammer out a?
I don't. You know what? I have absolutely no idea. I mean, we do a lot of these shows, and people always ask us, "Oh yeah, right. What's the formation going to be? What's the team going to be?" And it's got to the moment, no idea. No, I haven't got a clue because I mean we've had. I think we're up to 83 changes for the season so far.
Wow.
I think actually we might be more than that actually. That was a stat from a couple of weeks ago, but he's rotating all the time. It's a competition that De Zerbi feels that he was upset that we didn't beat Man United in the semi at Wembley.
Should have.
Actually, that's another thing about this tie. It is actually the two beaten FA Cup semi-finalists from last season. So,
True.
but I mean, we lost on penalties to United in a game where we probably should have won. We pretty much dominated it. United were pretty rubbish and quite cheaty. Who
Of
knew?
course.
But it was, yeah. I mean, well, this game, I think we've got a few players coming back from injury, so we might see some of those get some minutes. Obviously, we're playing in the Premier League on Monday night, tomorrow night, as we record this. So we don't know who's going to be available. We've got Ansu Fati back in training. Tarek Lamptey's back in training. Solly March was over in Dubai, although we're not likely to see him again this season. But we're getting some bodies back. And when we sign someone like Ansu Fati, we're like, what? This guy's
Yeah.
like got £1 billion release clause in his contract. We're like,
Yeah.
what's all that about? And it's like, you mean we're signing the guy that's just they gave Messi's shirt to? This
Yeah.
is you what?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked with that. I'm not gonna lie. I was
I
really
know, but
shocked.
we're pretty shocked as well. But he's come from he's been out for a month or so after picking up an injury at Forest, and but he's come in. He's not been like flash about it. He's not been Billy Big Bollocks. He's basically just come in, settled in, and been part of the team. And you know what? He's been out like he's really enjoying the environment. Brighton's a wonderful place to live, and he's been seen out on the basketball courts, just hanging out, shooting some
Nice.
hoops, and he's just a really really cool guy. And it's like and he scored some great goals for us. I mean, one of his goals against Ajax was just like, how did he do that? His feet move quicker before the keeper could actually move. It was in the back of the net before he could even seen the ball.
Crazy.
It was just insane. But so we're hoping he'll be back. He might get some minutes. But yeah, I mean, we've got a really good academy. We've got some good kids coming through. But I don't think we'll see too many of those because he, like I said, De Zerbi wants to get to the final and he wants to win it.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like De Zerbi is a man on a mission, honestly. Which everybody watching this, over here it's beaten like I mean they've almost beat a dead horse a million times. But you guys are the model club for anybody now. You guys are the model club. You come from the lower divisions, you established yourself in the Premier League, then you took that next step and finished the highest ever in the club's history in the Prem, gone to Europe. You're the model team that everybody wants. How does that? Did you ever think Brighton would be the model of the Prem?
No, we just liked it when we had models wearing our kit. It was, Louise and Jordan wearing like Brighton, good old Brighton girls wearing the old Brighton kits back in the day. That was a thing. God, that was a long time ago. But I mean, look, we're delighted to be where we're at, and like I said earlier, it's all about the journey and not the destination, pretty much. And we know that it might not last forever. We know that Tony's got this great model in terms of recruitment and stuff like that. But we've lost some big players over the last couple of years, and replacing them, it's not always going to work. I mean, with any transfer, you're taking a risk, right? So, we don't spend big money. We try to be smart. And when we signed Pedro in the summer, that was 30 million quid. That was more than we'd ever pay for anybody. In fact, almost double what we paid for anybody previously. So it's it's just being smart. We've just signed Valentin Barco from Boca. He's an exciting talent. That's 8 million quid. So, which is ridiculous for someone who's so highly rated in Argentina, already in the first team reckoning at 19. He's so we'll see what comes from him. He's not going to be available by the weekend. He's still playing in he's in the the under 20 Argentinian under 23 qualifiers for the Olympics, I think it is. So he's not going to be back until February. Well, I say back, he's not even been here yet, I don't think. So, he might change his mind.
Right.
Where does this thing come from?
Yeah,
it's like so but that's just smart recruitment, getting your fingers in the pies across the world, and knowing who these talents are going to be, and bringing them over. And there's no definite way of knowing that it's going to be a success, but we seem to be quite good at it at the moment, but we're only one bad transfer away from having a disastrous season. So,
Yeah.
losing Moises and Alexis in the summer was. I think we're only planning on losing one of those. We kind of knew that Alexis was going to go, and he went with our best wishes. And the way that he's conducted himself before that and ever since, and the fact that when Liverpool came down to the Amex this season, De Zerbi put his arm around him and he basically walked around the pitch pointing at him. Don't forget this guy. Applaud our own players, but don't forget this guy. And
Mhm.
Alexis was in tears about the whole thing. He wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And that's just. I think that just gives an idea of what a good manager that he
Yeah.
actually is. That how much the players actually respect him. But we've not seen the same from Moises.
Yeah.
Should be fair to
Yeah.
say.
Right.
Alexis has just gone. How excited he is that Barco's just signed for us. He's tweeted Moises and his advisors. Wow, where do we start with this one?
Yeah. Right.
It's can we swear on this show? No, we're not going there. But it's he was so badly advised, and it was just stupid. But but he was a massive player. We weren't really planning on losing Moises this summer.
Mhm.
I think another year with us would have actually benefited him.
Yeah.
It was a big transfer fee, one of the biggest
It's
ever.
all the money.
But we didn't want to sell him. So Chelsea haven't got a clue what they're doing.
No.
Um,
No.
I know. Let's just throw money at it and see what happens. And it's like, let me ask you this question: have you ever seen Todd Bowley and Cartman from South Park in the same room at the same time? I don't think so.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, I don't think I have. Oh, that's a
It's
good one. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
I
but
mean,
it
it's.
is he is Cartman. I want cheesy paps. And it's like him wanting in the transfer mate. I want him. I'm like it's like let's just throw stupid money at it and
Oh,
hope
yeah.
it papers over the cracks. It's like it's ridiculous, but
That's
you know.
why. That's why his sports franchises have not won anything in America. That's why the LA Dodgers have just signed Shohei Otani, and they'll be knocked out in the first round of the baseball playoffs. I mean, it's a trend. It's a trend, and I'm glad they're suffering that they are spending almost 1.2 billion dollars and nothing to show
Yeah,
for it. It's
but the
perfect.
thing is, it's the entitlement that we get it all over our Twitter feed and all over our socials that there is this massive Chelsea entitlement. They think they have this divine right to success, and they think and they sneer their noses down at us and like, oh well, look how much money we've taken of you, and what a success they've been for you.
Yep,
It just goes to
exactly.
show you that the plan that we have and the way that we treat our players is a lot better. And the fact that, you can be the best player in the world, but if you're not part of a team that works around you, then you're just going to get lost because you can't do it. You can't do it all on your own. I mean,
Exactly.
and it's like Moises worked in our setup in our team. Alexis worked in our setup in our team, and Alexis has gone on to be relatively successful. He hasn't necessarily hit the ground totally running at Liverpool, but he's doing all right.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the Liverpool fans seem to appreciate him. But then Liverpool fans generally understand football. I don't think Chelsea fans do.
No. No, they don't seem to have a clue. They do not seem to have a clue. All right. So before we get out of here, what's your score predictions? How bad is it going to be? 7, 8, 9 nil?
I'd take 28, but I don't. I'm not. I'm expecting a game that is going to be so ugly. Not even his mother would love it. But
Oh yeah, me
it
too.
will be. I think I think we'll get over the line. I think you've got bigger fish to fry. I think we'll want it more, possibly.
Yeah,
But we'll. I'll take. I'll take a 1-0 win. But hopefully we'll be a little bit more comfortable. I think now that the players have had a bit of a rest, they've had chance to and get some. I mean, someone like Evan Ferguson, for instance, who's started the season really well, picked up a niggly little injury, and hasn't been quite the same since. So hopefully he'll actually come back fully fit now. Um, Pedro's been doing all right anyway. Matoma's still going to be away. Have you got players away at AFCON? I can't remember. I think you must have.
Two, yeah, we have two players, and they're
Yeah,
our team's
we've
so
got
bad it doesn't matter that they're gone.
I mean, Simon Adingra is away at AFCON. We've got Karu's away with Japan in the Asia Cup, but neither of them are playing because they're both injured anyway. I don't know why they took them, to be honest. It was, but yeah, I mean, we're excited. We found a way of playing without Karu at the moment, which is quite good, and and he's not exactly had the greatest season either, but he's still even a slightly out of form Karu is better than nobody else.
Yeah,
He's just a delight to watch, and and that's another thing. I mean, obviously we're talking to you. You're across the pond in America. We've got the stateside Seagulls, which is ever growing in number. Uh, we've got on our show we've got Google Analytics, and it's like we know how many people are listening. We know where they're listening, what device they're listening to it on. It's very big brother. But when you see the spread across the world of people in the States, in Australia, in Africa, it's just in Russia. It's incredible how far this club is growing, and and the fact that we're seeing so much interaction from all over the world now.
hmm
It's like it just doesn't seem quite real again to this side that very nearly went out of existence in 1997, which doesn't seem to be that long ago to me.
no, honestly, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, that is crazy. It's crazy the 180 that the club has taken. Um, One more question before I get out of here, and I will say this: I'm going with a 1-0 Brighton win, or God forbid, don't have a 0-0 draw. God, I don't want to
Oh,
watch paint dry.
do we have replays? I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I think so. I think this
It's got to the point there where I don't actually know what the rules are. I mean, I know that the replays were in the third round, but I don't think we've got them in the fourth round. I'm not
perfect.
sure.
We could just go straight to penalties. Don't even play the extra half hour. Just go straight to penalties.
But don't even
We
play the
can't.
90 minutes.
Yeah, just exactly. Just fire it up. Stand them on the line. First one to get best out of 10. Bang. Moving on. A dog and pony show, and it's over in less than 10 minutes. Um, Before we get out of here, the last question I ask every single opposition supporter. You're doing it right now. What's your favorite pre-match beverage before you go
Oh
into the
God! Well, you
Amex?
see, myself and my good friend Andy Bass, he's a regular on the Albion Roar as well. Um, we have our ritual, and basically, it's all about the pub. Really,
Mhm.
it's basically if we go to a pub and we lose, it loses the shirt, and we have to find another pub. Um, and so
Oh,
we've fortunately so far we've kept the same one at the moment, but so it depends on what's actually available in that particular hostelry we're going to. So I mean, it's beer, usually a
yeah.
beer, unless I'm working, which I quite often am, because obviously um, we're a radio show, so we're quite often in the press boxes up and down the country. So it's generally frowned upon to turn up completely banjaxed at those places. So
Uh,
it's but on those occasions when I'm not in there, then yeah, we'll find with we'll always find the best pub whatever town we're in, and and we got a lot of good friends who will hook up there, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's all about obviously you've got the success on the field, which is always going to be wonderful. But for us, it's usually a brilliant day out ruined by 90 minutes of football.
yeah, no kidding.
But it's about who you're with, where you go, and it's the football is obviously a very important part of it, and obviously we talk about it and analyze it, but it's about who you're with, and it's about who you're watching it with, and it's about your community. It's about being part of something. It's the new football is the new church. It's
Yeah.
basically is we go and worship at the theatre of the Amex, or wherever we go. It's and see our heroes. It's like that, you know.
Yeah,
It's simple as that, really. It's just
exactly. You're exactly right. You are exactly right. Well, tell the viewers where they can find the Albion Roar on social medias and the podcast and
well,
the whole
we're
deal.
obviously we're everywhere. We're all over the world, but we're the Albion Roar Radio Show on Radio Reverb in Brighton on 97.2 FM, online at radioreverb.com, on DAB, on smart speaker. Just ask that smart speaker for the Albion Roar, and you will find us. And Alexa, find the Albion Roar, and they'll probably take you down some rabbit warren somewhere. But yeah, there, and obviously on our podcast as well. Which we've been doing this show 17 years now, since the advent of, well, when podcasts first became a thing. I mean, we've been on the radio all that time,
Wow.
and we've seen a lot. I'm like, it's been quite the journey for us, really. We're very proud and fortunate to have a great team and a great city to sustain us.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. Well, I appreciate you coming on. And if you guys haven't done so, and I don't know why you haven't done so, follow us, Red Half of Sheffield on YouTube, Red Sheffield on Twitter / whatever it's called, X now. And until next time, when I inevitably preview another loss, I will leave you with
Oh,
this.
that would be us again.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no kidding. I will leave you.
We've got a small amount of Palace before that, so
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
did I tell you they burnt down their own town?
This has gone off the rails. I will leave you with this, up the blades.